Buongiorno, Monkey here, coming at you with a special episode. We recently received a question from one of our Patreons about some technical analysis, and when, specifically to something I said in the previous episode, when will I know when TMDX is reversing and it's a good time to buy? So Monkey thought he'd break out the crayons and play some drawings on the chart and show you what I'm thinking at the moment. So here we go. So the first thing we do is we call up the monthly chart because that gives us the general direction of things. And on the monthly chart, where each of these candlesticks represents 1 month, I basically ask, is it going up and to the right or down to the right? And it's going up and to the right. So this is still a buyable investment from the technical analysis standpoint. Next thing I do is I try to just make sense of where the supply and demand levels appear to be on the monthly time frame. So it looks like if we go back to about 2021, beginning of 2022, I see this is where the supply, where the buyers start to come in. And when I draw a kind of best fitting channel, it kind of looks like this. And then just to not make it a little broader, I'll extend it to capture some of the lows. So kind of this channel sort of looks like that. So that's what I see on the monthly chart, up and to the right. So we're good. Next, I switch over to the weekly, which is the long-term investors time frame. I make some adjustments here. And by the way, these pink lines are from Monkey's live chart, so it's historically what I used when thinking about my own buy. So I didn't want to delete them before recording. So let them be artifacts. I'll talk about them a little bit later. But so there's that chart. There's that channel that we just drew. And here I see if I could draw any other lines that capture supply and demand levels. And so one becomes pretty clear to me. And that is if I draw, there's a whole bunch of buying and selling tops that happen basically right around these levels here, all the way down to about, well, if we want to make it wider, then they kind of look like they even last, like this channel is kind of wider. So it kind of looks like it ends about down here. So now we have these two supply and demand levels mapped out. And then when I switch to the daily time frame, you could see those channels. And you could see here on this daily time frame that actually, if I extend this channel to capture some of the recent stuff, basically looks like this. Okay, so here, right here is where Monkey bought his one share right before earnings. And that was because the price was slightly below the channel, but it bounced, this green candle, it bounced right off of this volume weighted average price. So ahead of earnings, because I know the fundamentals, I trust this company, I want to own it long term, I was willing to play the earnings game and thought this is most likely going to be a supportive bounce, earnings notwithstanding. So technically, I was willing to take that risk. Then, of course, we got earnings, and the market did not like what TMDX said, so the price broke below this weighted average price, and now we're in this obvious downtrend. So the question is, when will it be a good time to buy? So this is what we knew before, and it was in this channel that was developing that Monkey thought we're at the bottom of it, good time to buy. Now we obviously broke below that channel. And so the next thing I'm going to do is put in a new anchored volume weighted average price, and I'm going to set it to the earnings date because obviously that has really significant volume and there was a significant event in the company. And so that line shows us that right now, the price is below this volume weighted average price. And TLDR, you don't want to buy a stock when it's below the anchored volume weighted average price. given that we now have the prices below this up channel and the price is basically hanging out in this support channel down here, Monkey is going to wait until this price basically crosses the anchored volume weighted average price, which as the days unfold, this is going to continue to drop. And the price, we don't know where it's going to go, but the price will have to break. If I were one to buy it, say today, it would have to break above about 70 for the reversal to be a risk off signal. Right now, the risk is definitely on because the trajectory continues to be down and to the right until it's not. So my crayons suggest waiting until this price crosses this pink line and closes basically above this blue channel. So it looks to be at the moment, again, about 70 per share before I could say the reversal is complete and ready to move in the upward direction. So right now, seems like patience is the word of the day as far as transmedics goes in relation to technical analysis. Hope that was useful. Send your questions on the Patreons. Monkey over and out.